So we're diving into this Nostalgia-AI report, and it's for July 1980. And the very first thing that jumps out, it isn't a movie, it isn't a song, it's the temperature.
Heat, yeah. The report makes it sound absolutely brutal.
It paints this picture of a society just, forced indoors.
Right. It completely sets the stage. The vibe wasn't, let's go to the beach. It was, get to the air conditioning and do not move.
Which explains why the media consumption numbers for this month are just huge.
Exactly. If you're stuck inside, you're watching TV, you're listening to the radio, that's it.
And if you did venture out, say, to a movie theater, the big one was The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, yeah. But the conversation around it was heavy. The report says the shock of that ending was still the main thing everyone was talking about.
It was a collective trauma.
It really was. I mean, you have to remember, there's no internet, no spoilers.
Right.
People were just walking out of the theater, completely stunned that the bad guys won. It feels like the culture needed a release valve.
And it got one.
Yes. The report frames its release this month as, like, a necessary counterweight.
It calls it the most ridiculous thing on screen.
And that one line, I am serious.
And don't call me Shirley? It was everywhere. It was the quote of the summer.
It really signaled a huge shift in comedy. You're leaving that 70s style behind for something much more deadpan.
And that shift, it isn't just in movies. You hear it all over the radio. The playlist data here is fascinating. You've got Billy Joel's It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, just on a loop everywhere.
Which feels very traditional, But then you have Paul McCartney's coming up.
With that weird, cool synth sound.
That sound is basically the doorbell for the 1980s. It's artificial, it's catchy, it's totally new.
And then there's Queen. Another one bites the dust, is climbing the charts.
And the report's description of that bass line as lethal is just perfect.
It is. It's so much tighter and more aggressive than the disco that came right before it.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't all escapism. The news on TV was a big reality check.
Oh, for sure. The Moscow Olympics.
Or the lack of them. The U.S. boycott was the big water cooler topic. It created this massive awkward hole in the summer.
It's the Cold War playing out right in your living room. The usual joy of the Olympics was just gone, replaced with geopolitical tension.
Speaking of tension in the living room, we have to talk about Dallas.
Who shot J.R.?
Exactly. The finale was months ago, but in the dead of summer, the entire country is still in agony waiting for that answer.
It is the ultimate monoculture moment. There's no binging, no spoilers online. Everyone is in suspense together, and they have to wait until the fall.
It's just incredible. But here's the pivot. While Dallas represents everyone doing the same thing at the same time, this same month sees the rise of a device designed to do the exact opposite.
The Sony Walkman, the TPS-L2.
The report calls it cutting edge, and you can feel the kind of confusion around it.
Yeah, it's easy for us to forget how revolutionary it was. A personal cassette player. On your belt. People didn't really get it. Like, why would you want to isolate yourself like
the price? $200.
In 1980 money, yeah. That is a serious investment.
The source notes, a lot of people thought it was just a fad, that it wouldn't last.
A $200 fad. But for the people who bought one, the report says it felt like living in the future.
It's the first time you could curate your own reality, right? Put on headphones and soundtrack your walk down the street.
You're not sharing the radio with a room anymore. It's just for you.
It's really the birth of that personal bubble we all live in now.
It is. You're seeing the hinge point. The collective analog 70s are dissolving, and this high-tech, individual, synth-heavy 80s are locking into place.
So when you look at this snapshot, from the shared shock of Empire and the shared agony of Dallas to the solitary world of the Walkman, you're watching the decades collide.
The heat wave kept everyone inside, but the whole culture was shifting right under their feet.
Which leaves us with a final thought to mull over. We see that $200 price tag for the Walkman and think it's steep. But considering it basically invented the idea of curating your own world on the go, was it actually the cheapest ticket to the future ever sold? Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.